Holiday. Coming up, a newly minted hockey hero comes home to help out for the summer, and meet a woman from the townships who's taking her battle with cancer to the national stage. Well, welcome back. Our next guest is not one to back down from a fight, and right now her target is cervical cancer. Eryou has started the Sherbrooke chapter of the National Cervical Cancer Coalition, and she joins me now to tell her story. Thanks so much for coming in,
Thank you for having me.
I do want to talk about the NCCC, but I want our viewers to hear about your amazing story of how you even got a doctor to find out about your cervical cancer.
Well, I had asthma, and I needed a new renewal, and it just got to a point where every CLSC would refuse me, stating that they don't take new patients. And every doctor was the same thing. Well, if you don't have a referral, you don't get in to see us. I called Info Santé to find out what to do. They said, go to an emergency room. And I didn't want to take the place of somebody that was actually sick, and I didn't want to have to sit for 10 hours to walk out with a prescription.
Yeah, to renew a prescription.
So I got upset, and I wrote a letter to our then Minister of Health, which was Philippe Couillard. And within 2 weeks of writing my letter, I got a letter stating that they had acknowledged receiving my letter, and they would actually find me someone that could renew my prescriptions.
And eventually, Mr. Couillard sent you the pager number of a doctor that would take you, right?
Exactly. And I was totally, I think, well, is this going to work? And when I met her face to face, I mean, she even took me in on a Saturday.
The doctor that the health minister got for you. You must have written a really good letter, Karen.
I think I did.
Since she's not one to back down from a fight, and there you go. But you're lucky that you got this doctor, because she did a thorough examination.
Yeah, well, she told me, she said, look, she said, you're not going to get out of it that easy. I'm going to take you on as a patient if you want, and we're going to send you for every test under the sun because I don't know your history. So you're not only going to walk out of here with a prescription, you're going to walk out of here with a family doctor. So I was thrilled, and I was, at that point I was 46 years old. I'd never had a mammogram, never had a pap test, and she sent me for every test possible. And 2 months after, she called me up on a Thursday evening and said, there's something abnormal. She said, we're seeing inflammation and we're seeing a color that we don't really like. She said, we're going to send you for more tests. So within like 2 weeks of that, I was into the medical center for a colposcopy. And it was there that they called me like right after that, and they told me, they said, well, we have bad news. It is cancer. It's not pre-cancer. They are cancerous cells.
So you've been in treatment since then, and you've seen both sides of the healthcare system. Once you struggled like crazy and wrote all the letters to get in, you've had great care since then.
It's fantastic, but it's terrible that in this day and age that we have to fight to get healthcare. But yeah, once you are in the system, everything is fantastic. It just rolls once you're in there. I had an appointment last week, and again, she's sending me for more tests. And,
so it's all it's all under control. Now that led you to the cervical cancer diagnosis and your fight, which is ongoing against cervical cancer, to the National Cervical Cancer Coalition, and you found their website and realized there's not much for Montrealers and Quebecers there, right?
No, I had a very difficult time getting the information that I really wanted to know. Yes, the doctor explained to me what was going to happen to me, the operation I was going to have, radiation afterwards, but that wasn't the information that I wanted. I wanted to know how I was going to feel, what my body was going to go through, and I wanted to talk to other people that were actually going through the same situation. But because cervical cancer isn't as well known as other kinds of cancers, it's kind of like a taboo of cancers, but yet it's a killer like every other cancer, but it's a secret cancer because there's no way of self-detecting it on your own. You really need the pap test.
And that's your message. I mean, we don't have a ton of time left, but your main message today is, and you are now the Quebec chapter head of the Cervical Cancer Coalition, and you're on that website all the time. Your main message to women today: fight for a doctor, get your pap test. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, fight for a doctor. Write to your MPs. Find out how you can get in to see a doctor. If you don't have a pap test, get in there, get it. And if you need to speak to other people to know what's going on, go to the NCCC website.
Yeah, we've got the website that we'll bring up for people there. It's nccc-online.org. And so if you're struggling, that's a good resource for you, right?
Exactly. I mean, there's a whole online community there. You can get information. They can send you information. You can speak to other people that are going through the same situation as you are. And it's not only for cancer patients, it's also like for caregivers or families that need to understand exactly what what their mothers, their wives, or their sisters are actually going through.
Karen, thank you very much. You are a fighter, and we're so glad we have you in Quebec to do the fighting on behalf of all of us. Appreciate it.
I thank you very much.
Good luck with your ongoing battle, and we'll have you back. I'd
Thank
like an
you.
update. Karen Eryou from Sherbrooke, who fought so hard to get a doctor and is now fighting on your behalf at the Cervical Cancer Coalition. Well, here on Focus Montreal, we love to hear about locals doing good deeds, and our